Rooted in boots. What is that all about? Well, we chose it as the theme of our meeting way back in January when the regionals were here in Irvine. And we chose it to reinforce the importance of boots to our business. They are at the center of what we stand for as a company, whether it's an everyday boot for the working rancher who shifts from horseback to tractor to office throughout his long day. Or maybe it's a pair of embellished boots for a night on the town, whether dancing or at a concert. Or it's a pair of white wedding boots for the bride. Or maybe it's a steel toe work boot for that oil field worker that keeps them safe while they're on the job. Boot Barn has them all, and we all need to be experts at understanding the best boots for each individual customer's needs. So what does rooted in boots mean in my life? That too is many things. Starting with the Christmas morning cowboy outfit I got at 5 years old, when it was still my life's ambition to become a cowboy. And for the last 6 years, all of you at Boot Barn have helped that dream come true. So thank you. But let's be honest, I was never this cute, not even in my cowboy boots. Then I graduated to a pair of dingo boots when I went off to Western camp as a 10-year-old boy who didn't want to wear those pointy toe cowboy boots that were the style of the day. To the next year, when I refused to go back to camp without those same pointy toe boots that I had despised the year before. And those boots started my love affair with cowboy boots that continues to this day. I've owned more pairs than I can recall, but a few stand out as special. A pair of honey blonde Tony Lama lizard boots that I bought for myself while I was in college and wore almost daily for the next 3 years. To the Justin Ropers of my post-college days that were a wardrobe staple for many years afterwards. The Casey black Cayman boots that I wore to walk my daughter down the aisle. But now to my favorite boots, which I happen to be wearing today. It's a pair of Eldorado ostrich ropers. Why are they special, you ask? That's easy. It's because my 4-year-old grandson, Mason, has a matching pair, and he loves to wear them when we're together, and I love it too. I know there are many more boots ahead for me, and just like our customers, each pair of my boots have different purposes, but they're all special, and they keep me and my family rooted in boots. Good morning and welcome to Retail Rodeo 2020, Rooted in Boots, the virtual edition. Hope everyone traveled safely and easily to your destination, and by now you should be gathered in a conference room somewhere with your district manager and other store managers from your district for what will hopefully be a jam-packed day of learning and planning for holiday 2020. 2020 has certainly been a year like no other, starting with the outbreak of COVID-19. Everybody marks the outbreak of COVID with something in their life. For me, I mark it on March 11th, 2020, when the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo announced they were closing 10 days in to a 20-day run of show. Then we moved to Easter weekend, the weekend of April 12th, when over 105 tornadoes touched down in the southeastern US, one of them a direct hit on our store in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Fast forward just a bit to Memorial Day weekend, when social unrest related to the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis, and social unrest broke out across much of our country. Many of the cities and towns where our stores are, and many of you had to close your stores early, before dark perhaps, or maybe throughout a whole day because of the protests that were going on in your city. Then we got to a hurricane season that was so busy that we ran out of names and had to resort to naming new storms after the letters of the Greek alphabet. And in August, Hurricane Laura hit Louisiana and East Texas with a direct hit on Lake Charles, Louisiana, and our store there, which was down for a few days and is actually still being repaired to come back fully. And the western states faced wildfires like no other year. Millions of acres have been burned, and millions of people have been impacted. Through all of these challenges, you and your teams have not only persevered, but led. You yourself led the team to take on each new challenge. You led them to rally when things seemed difficult. And you led your customers through new protocols in our stores related to health and well-being.
And through all of that, you led the business to continued success. And while each and every one of you led through these challenges, there's one team that deserves a special shout out today. And that's District 12, led by Jan Gallo. Jan started with us in mid-March, right about when COVID turned our world upside down. Jan and the team in D12, led by store managers Melissa, Summer, along with Sonia, Karen, and Dawn, and Chuck, Amanda, Karen, and Jerry. This team took all the pitches that COVID threw at them, managing through a store closed for several months by tornado damage, another store closed for several months due to damage suffered during the social protest, and they did it all with grace and empathy. And additionally, when a nearby store, not in their district, frankly, not even in their region, had staffing problems, this team once again stepped up and sent staff to Trustville, Alabama to keep the store open until local hiring caught up. This group epitomizes the can-do spirit of all our Boot Barn team members. I don't know if the final few months of 2020 have any more twists and turns for us all, but I do know that together we will face them and come through them as we have faced the earlier ones. Together, Boot Barn strong. Today, we hope to accomplish several things and to arm you to lead your team and your store through a successful holiday season. We'll hear from our executive team, Jim, Greg, and Lori, and they'll each share their thoughts on where we stand now and where we're headed for holiday. Marketing and HR will share their holiday plans. And after a lunch break, John Hazen and I will talk about many exciting omni-channel initiatives that will enable us to win this holiday no matter the challenges by meeting the customer where they want to meet us. Some of these initiatives are already operational and some that will be new for the holiday season. We'll talk some specifically about store operations and how we'll continue our winning streak in stores by delivering the best in-store experience possible. Rick and some friends will teach us more about our Rooted in Boots heritage and how to be the best boot sellers ever. And you'll have some time to practice the things he shares. Towards the end of the day, your DM will spend some time on how your district will work together to achieve our joint goals for the season. We'll recognize outstanding performances from the fiscal year that ended back in March and recognize some SSC partners for the support they provide for us every day. That's our day. We hope that you'll be energized by the presentations and head back to your store ready to win another holiday season with your team. And while we hate that we're not spending it together, we know that there's plenty of great content anyway. With that as the outline, I have a few requests from each of you. Please participate fully in the day. For the over 220 of you who have attended at least one previous retail rodeo, today will feel very different. But when we surveyed you a few months ago about how you felt about this meeting, you all told us how incredibly valuable it was to you individually, as you learned not only from the SSC presentations, but from one another. And you always return to your store energized and motivated to improve as a team and have a great holiday season. That's why we chose to gather in small groups today, to try and capture as much of that shared learning as possible in this COVID environment. Please, throughout the day, ask questions of the others in your group, another store manager or the DM leading the day. Additionally, we've set up an email account, really simple, rootedinboots@bootbarn.com, so you can send in any questions you have. And while we won't be able to answer them in real time, we will compile all the questions and answers and get them distributed to all of you as quickly as we can. Also today, please keep an open mind to the new ideas or processes that you might hear about from someone presenting. And also, please be COVID safe in your meeting rooms. Remember the 3 W's. Wash or sanitize your hands often. Wear a mask that covers your mouth and nose. Watch your distance. Let's stay 6 feet apart. So now let's rodeo. And I'm happy to bring up to your screen now our President and CEO, Jim Conroy.